6:14 right now, and the push is on to Election Day after Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton duke it out in Sin City.
Las Vegas played host to the final presidential debate moderated by Fox's Chris Wallace, and the war of words ramped up a notch.
Our roundup panel is here to debate the debate. We're talking about Fox 26 senior legal analyst Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Okay, Hillary Clinton's numbers are still up. Do you think with the performance of Donald Trump last night, he upped his numbers a bit?
Well, he needed to stop the bleeding, but if he stopped it enough, we really won't know until a couple of weeks. He was pretty firm and resolute in a lot of his responses. Out of all three performances, he probably was better last night than he was in the prior two. But is it enough? Most polls are showing that Hillary Clinton's leading by 6 points. Is it enough to close that gap? I don't know. We're about to see in a couple of weeks.
No, it's a simple answer. He needed a much stronger performance. He started out but more disciplined than he has been yet, but he melted down like he does like he has in every debate. And what's resonating, unfortunately for him, is his refusal to accept the results of the election and his continuing to delegitimize the Constitution. And with that being the central focus of the debate, coming off the debate, that's going to hurt his numbers going out. And that's not what he needed, and so it's not going to help him.
Yeah, speaking of that point, though, whether or not he would accept the results at the end, I mean, that was one of the punchlines. I think it took everybody by surprise. Let's listen, though, for folks who might have missed it.
Good of the country. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against him.
Should have gotten it.
This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks. And it's funny, but it's also really troubling.
And Mustafa, you were going to make a point right before that.
Look, he's chipping away at the basic principles of our democracy. People look at this as some kind of a performance. You know, he's not applying to be a job of being an actor. He's applying to be the commander-in-chief of the democracy that's held around the world as an example. And when you have a national leader of a party running for the president of the United States who doesn't believe in succession of power and makes light of it, it's ridiculous. Donald Trump is toxic to our democracy, and people need to send a message and vote against him in November.
Yeah, but we can't ignore Wikileaks, and Wikileaks did show that the DNC did try to rig their own system in their own primary. And a lot of independents are looking at that, and they're questioning, well, look, if they're trying to rig the system for their own candidate, which they did with Hillary, what are they going to do in the general? That's a general question. Now, whether or not we should say that we do not accept the Constitution, I'm not saying that at all. But we do know, both based on the emails that were leaked through Wikileaks, that the Democrats did try to rig their own system.
Now, you did talk about WikiLeaks, and Trump did go after Clinton on that, and we do have a soundbite for a little bit of an exchange. Let's listen up.
WikiLeaks just actually came out. John Podesta said some horrible things about you, and boy, was he right. He said some beauties. And you know, Bernie Sanders, he said you have bad judgment. You do. And if you think that going into Mosul, after we let the world know we're going in, and all of the people that we really wanted, the leaders, they're all gone. If you think that was good, then you do. Now, John Podesta said you have terrible instincts. Bernie Sanders said you have bad judgment. I agree with both.
To say something.
Well, the point about this delegitimizing the government, and I want to get to the WikiLeaks too, but the point about this delegitimizing the government is so much greater than whether or not there's a rigged election. It's factually impossible to rig an election, and for anyone, any Republican, to suggest that this country's election is going to be rigged is tearing down the democracy, and it needs to stop. Now, with respect to WikiLeaks, Donald Trump should have been talking about this for weeks. If he wants to win the presidency, he needs to change the topic. And instead of spending weeks talking about his sex scandal, he should have been talking about this for weeks. He's missed the topic because he doesn't know how to campaign. That's the problem he's had. He missed the topic last night. The WikiLeaks thing is not about what John Podesta said. It's about what Hillary Clinton said, and he hasn't talked about that.
I think that there's a conversation in this country that to try to defend Donald Trump, people are trying to, have cheap talking points about the fabric of our nation. They're tearing down what it means to be in a democracy. So this notion that our elections are rigged is dangerous talk, and people should stop saying it.
Well, I think that the Democrats themselves have put in writing how they tried to rig their own primary. So they started this discussion when they tried to rig it in order for Bernie Sanders to lose. And that's the general discussion when WikiLeaks exposed them for all of the horrible things that they were saying within their party, not only rigging the system, but saying derogatory statements against Hispanics, against Jewish people. I mean, the Democratic Party was exposed, and that's what we're dealing with right now.
That was the third and final debate, but there's a lot more to come, so we'll be checking in with you guys.
A lot more to be discussed. Thank you.
Thank you.